and the individual processes are very simplified at each station. Now, do I agree that you guys are moving pieces less? I just think that when you guys have a problem, it's magnified because you're putting all your eggs in one basket type of thing.
Yeah, I don't feel that way.
And I don't run hybrid.
I feel
That's
like
why.
if I have a problem on table one, you know, button, we're running on table two, and I got enough time to figure out what I'm gonna do with table one before it's done cutting, routing, edging, whatever this is. This happens in my shop all the time. It's a regular occurrence where maybe the Corvette's about to go drill a faucet hole, and he has his sheet, and he goes, "Man, that don't look right."
Right.
Like, that's weird. A good operator is going to go, okay, let me just go move the machine to work on the other table, and he's going to take his time and call the programmer and say, hey, I'm drilling a Corvette in the wrong spot. Is that right? Or and then the programmer has about 20 minutes to find a solution of the problem. Okay, and let's say he can't find the solution of the problem, right? You're dealing with what traditional shops deal with all the time.
Yep.
Which is, when I'm done on table two, hey, everybody come over here and help me clear table two and get table two redressed back running again. But look, that's no different than every shop deals with when they have a problem on any machine.
Well, and I'll tell you guys why. Obviously, the pendular machine is effective, right? The problem with Italian equipment right now on a dual table is the safety. We're having to put doors on the front and the back, a separation between two zones because they're really strict about that. And what that does is a dual table machine, like a dual table Maxima, ends up costing almost more than two Maximas on my book. So at that point, I'm going to sell you two machines because two spindles, I don't say are better than one, but you have the redundancy. That's something that I've had to adjust to because my dual table machine is going to be 650, right? So I don't have the ability to sell something at that price point that's dual table, but in the same breath, I don't know how you guys are letting people, or not letting people. I know the machine doesn't move that fast because I see people around the machine. I don't like that, especially with the silica stuff right now. I know you're cutting wet, but if they had a monitor when they're going, that's what I wanted.
We have not had any silica, whatever the rating is.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I just had ESGI Safety Group just write a letter to the state of Washington for a non-customer, different piece of equipment that was going through a lawsuit because of silica dust. And they wrote a letter because one of the solutions was a Poseidon machine for that safety aspect of it. So it passed all those tests, including from a safety company.
Yeah. Well, I've been in a metal.
Yeah. I gotta get going. So on this machine, all slabs can be warped, right? Whether it's quartzite, quartz, whatever. They're sitting on an A-frame for 2 years or whatever. We have slabs that were staged and the job will be completed in a year, and we'll go to fab those jobs. You lay those jobs down on this machine, and it sucks that slab down, right? Have you found that it's cutting those individual pieces? Are they popping and cracking in certain areas because it's sucked down and now you're releasing pressure? And have you had it happen? I mean,
I haven't had anything breaking like you're speaking about like that. I don't know. We do try to follow some of the standard processes when cutting. You want to make some through cuts. Your trim your cuts, release some of that pressure from your man-made stones, right? But anything bowed, causing like as that blade starts to exit, causing a pop or break, I have not experienced any of that.
Do you guys have to relieve tension on quartz because you're sitting?
I've been in shops that are cutting hybrid. They relieve tension on everything. I do not relieve.
Gotcha.
Cambria, some of that kind of stuff. If we're cutting porcelain, we do. But I don't cut porcelain hybrid.
Is that the situation where you're like, that's not something I'm gonna hybrid. I'm gonna traditional.
Correct.
That.
True. And it doesn't change the process.
Right. Do you just wait till the end of the day or bang it out in the
do it in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I just that spindle in a hybrid process, it's key to know where the spindle's going next, just so that table's ready. So, so let's say I'm on table 2 and I'm drilling my faucet holes, and I have a porcelain slab ready to go on table 1. When it goes and drops the core bit, before it picks up the finger bit, I can run over here and cut this porcelain slab. And then when I'm done cutting the porcelain slab, I can then go pick up the finger bit, cut the sinks, then go pick up the blade and cut table 2. So you can, in the middle of the process, change and say, okay, let me cut this porcelain slab first, or let me cut that vanity or that 4-inch backsplash we need to do, and get that out of the way in between tool changes.
Let me ask you this: if you're making a decision like that, I don't want to say on the fly, but can your guys program weeks ahead?
Yes, I have 3 machines, which is another beauty of this process. I can program any job, any far in advance as I want. And my guy who works table 6 can say, look, salesperson called me, the job I was about to run, they're thinking about swapping eggs, they want me to stop, what y'all want me to do? Look, just grab the slab from table 4 and cut it real quick. Open up the program, F4, it's sent to the next table, literally takes the programmer 30 seconds, and he's ready to ship and run that job. I could have wrote the job 6 months ago, put it on this table, that machine, and swapped it easy. There's no reprogramming, if that makes sense, to move from one side or the other. It's
Okay.
pretty seamless
Nice.
transition.
Does
Another thing that we like to do where we took it to another level, which was a request of a customer. We didn't come up with the idea, but our customer wanted to figure out, they got so efficient, but they wanted to get one more step. So how do we reduce more labor, which was separating, right? A lot of people separate the programming office from the operating process of setting up a slab and cutting, right? That's how a lot of companies are doing it now. But they said, hey, if I can make the programmer and the operator at the same time, I can reduce another labor step. So we created.
You're saying the programmer is the operator?
Yes. You can do that.
I think that's a unicorn. I
Yeah,
can do it.
right.
I can do it, no problem.
That's
Right.
right.
Like how much do you pay that guy because he
But I
leaves
think
your
some of
shop,
the
you're
smaller
screwed.
shops who are owner operators, that's a cool solution because they can be that they are that unicorn.
If you're doing 1 or 2 jobs a day, 100%. You get into a safety issue where it's like one guy can do everything, but you can't have one guy in the shop. You need 2 for safety issues.
Yeah, I'm just saying
One guy can
another
program
way.
and run and operate.
Well, and then
Yeah,
that
but
guy,
what if you have 3
has a sick
machines, you
day.
have 3 operators, and they're responsible and accountable for their square footage and the quality of their square footage? That would be a nirvana situation. So what they had us do was to buy more time. Well, how do you buy more time? Now, not everybody can do this because your real estate doesn't allow you, maybe, but we made bigger tables. We made bigger tables to be able to allow that process to take a little bit longer on the routing cycle so that they could program while I was doing that because there's a lot of downtime during the routing cycle. So that was another solution that came up. Doesn't fit every situation, but it is an option, and we came up with that as well.
Jesse, I want to ask you something that I know people have thought, and they've asked me. They're like, why is the T-Rex? Why does it move? I don't want to say so slow, right? Because the rapids are not fast. And let me ask you another question on top of that. Do you think that if the rapids were faster, that the hybrid cycle wouldn't work because it'd be more dangerous? Because I think the speed of the machine, by double stacking tools, you don't have the extra tool changes. That's where we recover time, is by flying to the back or not moving at all with the underbridge tool rack that's unique to CMS, right? Where we're carrying our tools with us, but then we're moving 240 feet a minute wherever it needs to go, but the doors are closed, you're not going in there. Now, do you think, and obviously there's a dual drive line, we've got asynchronous motor, so we've got 2 motors, even on our Micra, driving the bridge. So that's a couple horsepower each, and you guys have a big bridge, we have a big bridge. That transfers with, the torque that we have, that you guys also have, but that helps you get through the stone a lot. But do you think that if that machine moved faster, it would be an issue?
So, no, I don't. I think that you would have to, the T-Rex allows you to control how the machine moves. And if it were moving fast, I would want it to pause in between certain
That's
tool
what we do.
changes, so it wouldn't catch you off guard.
Yep, yep.
Right? But the way you're working from the machine, you're working it from the outside, not the inside. So if it's working on, table 2, it's going to the middle, right? And I would have it always park in the middle so it didn't catch you off guard. I would have it pause in between tool changes, which is very simple to do. Why it doesn't move as fast, I'm not a T-Rex specialist. I don't know near what you know about equipment. I'm a process guy, right? So I would assume it has to do with how heavy everything is. It's just so heavy.
Yeah. Well, and I think because you guys are making up time with the handling of the material, it doesn't have to. I'm a machine guy.
Can I comment on that for a second?
Yeah, please.
So Benji, I think that there's not enough juice in the squeeze on the speed of the head movement as compared to the movement of the pieces, and with the dual cone. That's the philosophy we took. We did put some brake resistors on so we could load the tools faster and pick up a little more time there. But we're talking 30 seconds of tool change, what have you. At the end of the day, again, you mentioned Kaplan Consulting, which I appreciate. Thank you for that. But it's important, and it's important to think about where your money's going, and it's really about your labor and your organization in the office side and getting the work loaded and work planned. So with all this speed and the speed of production, which is extremely important, and what really holds you back is the speed of the office and the speed of the coordination of getting the work, planning your work for the week.
No.
That's where I see a lot of the pitfalls. So to even get the most capacity out of our process with less movement, and it's just common sense. Less movement, no downtime, always producing is nirvana. Even if you don't have our piece of equipment, you have to get a quick changeover, which we eliminated. But if you do get that quick changeover, it comes down to the office and the planning. So even on your redundancy question, I recommend, no matter what, is to be 3 days ahead on your cutting, which in your cutting and your routing really have 3 days of finished goods. So when you plan your schedule, you have that ability to adapt when you do have a problem, no matter what piece of equipment you have, and that solves some of your problem because most of the downtime can be solved within 24 hours.
Cool. Hey, John, let's see if somebody has questions or anybody wants to.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody
ask
have some
anything.
questions? Anybody want to talk, chat, have questions? All right, we got somebody here.
We got a
Fantastic.
winner.
Are you?
All right.
Oh, what's up,
Good
Don?
job.
There he is.
How are you?
Hello.
Good, man.
How you doing, guys?
So Benji brought all his
Obviously with
fucking
the,
in.
I'm never shaking his
Hello.
hand before.
I know, I'm just kidding.
obviously with the traditional, everything's cut, polish up.
Hello.
We stamp slabs. We have location markers on our slabs. We cut a lot of very veiny material. Customers approve that veiny material, seams, waterfalls, so on and so forth. With the hybrid cycle, everything being down off of a raw slab, how are you locating? How are you guaranteeing that that's all coming together?
Hybrid cycle is only going to be as accurate as your picture is. Just so if that makes sense. Or you have a scanner, you're scanning if your scanner is accurate, and most scanners have the ability to do the outline of the slab, whatever shape it is. So the software automatically mirrors that and turns it upside down. The laser projects. Let's say you need to be more accurate than like 1/8 of an inch. You can always use pin stops to place the slab where it goes, but the software automatically mirrors it.
But does the thickness of the slab? Do you guys probe for thickness, or you don't
When it's
because you're upside
it
down?
doesn't matter.
But do you have a probe to
No,
probe
no.
for thickness? Because I wonder. Let's say his question: you have the slab, you take a picture of it or scan it, whatever. You put it upside